My name's Rob Ballantyne. This is my first book, Pharaohs of the Sky. It's a study into the history of humanity, where do we come from, and the idea being that God did not invent human beings. Gods that invented us rode in spaceships or flew in spaceships. As in terms of how Pharaohs of the Sky came about, I was sitting in my basement a few years ago watching the Blue Jays. In between innings, I was flipping the channels, and there was on the History Channel, there was a man on there, a British man, and he was talking about the pyramids in Egypt, and he was explaining how they couldn't have been made by the ancient Egyptians. As far as we know, they must have had some kind of help, and they would have had modern, what we would consider modern technology, saws and lathes and things like that. And I thought, wow. And so I kept watching the show, and I realized it was a show about ancient aliens, and I'd never heard of the theory before. And I thought, there's something screaming out to be made. So I decided to get down, and I suddenly had these visions of what I could have in a story, and for the next 3.5 years of my life, besides raising little ones, this sort of took up my time. In terms of how the book got made, I decided there's one of two things you can do if you want to write a book. You look for an agent. You write the book, of course. You write the manuscript, you look for an agent, and they shop your ideas around, or you do self-publishing, which is becoming more and more of a fad. So I have never contacted any agencies. I just decided to try and write it on my own. And I was on the Chapters Indigo website, and I saw an icon from a place called iUniverse, and they're affiliated directly with iUniverse. So I thought, well, that looks legitimate. If it's affiliated with Chapters, it's probably good enough for me. And so that's where I got in touch with iUniverse, and it's been quite a magical journey. It's extremely time-consuming. It's exhausting. It can be very frustrating, but it can be exhilarating all at the same time. For me, making a story, the way I like to do things includes research. So I have as much fun looking at reading books and reading articles and watching videos on YouTube and on my television about subjects that I can use, as much as sitting down and actually writing the story. So it's quite a journey. Writing a story is a journey, and it's certainly an enjoyable one. A piece of advice I would give to aspiring story makers is you're going to have to listen to your heart. You need to write about things that matter to you, things that are important to you, things that you're interested in, and don't worry about trying to make the $1 million right away. Look for something that inspires you. And often it's who you meet that can change your life around. There's lots of success stories out there, but I think if people try to write about something that's a popular genre without having a love of it, I think it can be detrimental.